episode of the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. It's a bonus episode of the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. Come on now!
Hey everybody, I'm Matt. This is the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast bonus episode, because we do that from time to time. I think we might even have another one next week. So here we are. And by we, I also mean Jeffrey. Jeff Foote is here. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Matt.
I wanted you to jump on with me for a minute because a while back we did like a whole big gigantic thing where we went back and we looked at all the musical nuggets and Easter eggs that you whipped up to make the podcast more fun and interesting. And we did a whole contest. And we gave people prizes, and it was epic. And you wrote people songs if they were the winners and could figure out the most Easter eggs. And we've done a bunch of that since, but we don't really have a contest going. And we're probably not going to do a contest for this stretch.
Yeah, probably not.
But it's really good stuff, dude. And it makes it really fun. And we got episode 747 coming up. You have the plan already dialed for that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you probably knew what to do without me telling you, right?
Yeah, there's been times where we don't really even need to talk about it. We know it's going to be good.
That makes me happy. Do you think music used to be better?
I don't know. It's always some good, some bad, but I prefer the old stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because it seems like most of the stuff that we do, it's pretty deep callback. You pick things from, childhood for us, the 90s, 80s. I just think it's a lovely decade for music, like a lovely 15, 20 year span there from somewhere in the 70s to somewhere in the 90s. I'm kind of a sucker for it. But what do you think made it work so well?
Well, I was going to say, you hope the good stuff lasts because it's good, right? So if we're throwing back to kind of the obvious stuff, like a couple of weeks ago, we did Africa for Simon and Cyrene. Everyone knows Africa. You don't have to be our age or grow up in the 80s. I think it's just the good stuff is good.
Can you think of anything that wasn't good from the 80s? Because I can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go. Give me some 80s turds. Go, let's hear it.
I Want to Be a Cowboy by Boys Don't Cry.
Oh, gross. That is utter trash. What about that, the Tom Tom Club song? Do you think of that as a good song or a horrible song?
They needed David Byrne. Talking Heads without David Byrne, it doesn't work.
It feels really screwed up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're doing this work on my house. They got this little machine that measures things, and anytime when it finally grabs the measurement, it goes ba-da. And I always sit at my desk going ba-da. And finally the other day, this dude, he's been here like I don't know how many times. And he's like, "What are you doing there?" You don't know the song? Because listen to your beeper thing. It's like da-da, da-da, da-da. You don't, nothing? And so I pulled it up and I played it for him. And I don't think he was very happy with me because I think now that stupid riff is a part of his life. And he works with that machine every single day. So, yeah, thanks, 80s music. Other 80s trash, go. What do you got?
I was just thinking of Lisa and Cult Jam. What was that?
No, I don't have that one.
Head to Toe?
Oh, yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, and she's not in key like the entire song.
No, it's totally flat.
Yeah.
Ooh, gross. Oh, man, that didn't work. I don't know why they kept that. Yeah, that was pretty foul.
I was just having a conversation with a buddy here about the complete and total whiplash you get listening to We Are the World, where you go from...
like everybody trying to outshine each other?
But you go from like legitimately phenomenal singers like Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles or Steve Perry.
Sure.
And then it's Bruce Springsteen and Cyndi Lauper and Bob Dylan.
Yeah, okay.
That's awful if you're paying attention to that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's 80s drivel as well. Okay, so we've been fair. We're not totally old music apologists. Like it's like any other era. You get some good stuff, you get some bad stuff. It just feels like there was more awesome happening in that window of time. I suppose that's my thesis. So there's just a lot to draw on. And I think it's fun. And thank you for making the podcast better. Obviously, we can't be throwing like dumb joke songs at the end of some of these episodes we're doing right now about the crucifixion and stuff, because it'd feel weird, even though we've had a few that would have really worked.
Yeah, I almost thought to pitch you a couple times like some sincere, like old hymns or something. But I don't know if that fits the tone, but we're in that kind of zone right now.
Well, we did Onward Christian Soldiers once.
we definitely did.
Why are you laughing, Jeffrey?
Oh, no reason. No reason.
Okay. Is it because you mashed it up with Poker Face by Lady Gaga like a monster?
Yes. Which was so fitting for your story in that episode.
It did. It's an abomination, and I'm delighted and happy about my part in all of that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Why don't you listen to now music? What's the thinking there?
Oh, there's just so much. With Spotify and just kind of the demonetization of music, and you can just find tons and tons and tons of subgroups. That's what I find. So whatever is actually popular in the bigger culture, I'm not going to the places where that would be what people listen to. You know, like when we were kids, you go to the swimming pool and everybody's playing top 40 80s music. You go to the mall, everybody's playing top 40 80s music. And now there's not just that one spigot for all music.
You're right. Yeah, I kind of like a lot of things that are coming out right now, but nobody else knows any of it. And not because like 2004 indie band, well, you just haven't heard of it. It's not like that. It's just that there's so much. I keep finding cool stuff that I like now, and I keep playlists of new stuff that I like, and I'm starting this new newsletter thing that this isn't the official announcement, but I'm starting a newsletter, and I want the newsletter to just be like an email from your friend. That's it. Just there you go. Doesn't look real corporate. It's just I wrote an email this week. Here's all the stuff that I made on the internet, and also here's some funny things I saw, and here's a pretty picture that I saw of a thing that was pretty and made me think about some stuff. Also, I watched this on TV, and it was good. You might like it. And also, what I want to do on there is the mixtape thing. I miss mixtapes. When we would record songs off the radio, you'd have to wait in your room for hours until they finally played the one you wanted, and you get them all in order, and then you give this precious thing to your friend, and you're like, hey, these are songs that mean something to me, and then you understand each other better, and then your friend owes you a mixtape.
That's right.
And so I want to use this new newsletter thing that I'm getting started. It's kind of like a friends share mixtapes with each other thing with the internet.
You and I have very diverse musical interests and influences.
Yep.
It's not just 80s pop. I mean, the two of us can go down a lot of rabbit holes on a lot of different musical styles.
Yeah, we like a lot of different stuff, and we like very different things from each other. There's a decent shaded amount in our Venn diagram we discovered recently when we tried to make an album together. It was like, yeah, well, let's play with the overlap stuff, and some of it just doesn't, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the differences?
Between you and me?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I love 4 on the floor pop with a sick hook. I think people who are good at music and who like classical music and big band and various styles, all of which, I mean, both my parents were music majors, vocal and instrumental performance majors. They were my music teachers growing up, and I was not homeschooled. They worked at the school, and I took classes from them. We did music appreciation constantly growing up. I like a lot of stuff, and a lot of people who have appreciation like I do in that regard turn their nose up at pop. They're like, oh, that's for idiots. That's stupid. Anybody could write something like that. And I disagree. I think it is really hard to write a sick hook, something that just goes straight into your brain on the first try, and then you want it again because it's actually fun and good. I don't mind stuff that's squared off through the front door. Let's just have fun. So I think I'm more of a fan of pop than you. Fair statement?
Fair statement. I do enjoy good pop, and I agree with you that simple and good is probably the hardest type of song to write. But you definitely have more of the country background. And I have more of the
prog rock, man.
Well, that's for sure.
You were rebellious sooner than I was. So you liked more troubling acts in the early 90s, stuff that just sounded like it was there to just be obnoxious and jab the bear. You see the beauty in that, and you appreciate that in ways that a lot of people might miss.
Or other people liked at the time while you were listening to, Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks and Hadaway and Real McCoy. Yeah, that was me. I was doing that. Wow, that sounded just terrible. I feel like I should feel guilty about that or something, but I don't, because I'll tell you what music I listen to.
LaBouche?
Whatever I like. Oh yeah, LaBouche, absolutely. Wait, which one was LaBouche? That was really popular. Was that Another Night? No, that's Real McCoy. Was Another Night.
Wasn't that Be My Lover? Wasn't that LaBouche?
Be My Lover. That's what it is. Oh my goodness. That is trash. It's just awful. That early 90s garbage Euro dance pop phase, but it was also catchy. I couldn't help it. Fun Factory, I think, was in there too. Yeah, I listened to all.
At least we can agree Ace of Base rose above all that.
I'm unapologetically, I like all the Swedish acts. Generally speaking, if you're from Sweden and you made music in English with Americans in mind, even if you're mocking us, I don't care. Continue the mockery. Bring it on. I love it. Wigwam is my most recent. I think they're Swedish. No, they're Scandinavians of some sort. I think they're Swedes. Ace of Base, Roxette, ABBA. Bring it on, man. I love all that stuff. I found a lot of bands this year that I really like. I found a lot of albums this year that I really liked. One of those is called The Clamor and the Crash by a group called Rooktown. Have you heard this? Did I share it with you?
I have heard it, yes.
Oh, wait, you wrote it, and it's your musical pseudonym. That's right. You did hear it because you are it.
It's my band.
It's really good, dude. And I know a lot of people here have listened to it as well. And I think it's kind of fun that we have some ownership of that as a podcast community here. And I really appreciate those little places where you let me offer a bit of input here or there, but it's not me. That is just all your weird musical brainchild. And for as weird as it is, it's really listenable, and it's genuinely one of my favorite things that I've heard this year.
You did provide some good counsel right at the beginning when I was still writing it all, which was lean into the party rock and lean into the riffs.
Yeah, still think that.
Let's turn up the crunch on the guitars. Let's write some good riffs, and let's make it fun. And we put in some horns. We kept it funky.
Yeah, it's just silly and fun subject matter-wise on the surface, but then everything you did lyrically, every song means something and takes us somewhere that matters. That Premonition song, there's a lot of material from the middle of Matthew in there that was informed by conversations we had on this podcast, particularly about the two separate incidents where the religious leaders come to Jesus and they demand a sign, and Jesus has the exchange with them where he's like, oh, you guys can read the weather. You know that when the sky is a certain color, this is what the weather is going to be like. How is it then that you cannot see what is plainly unfolding in front of your faces? And so it's fun to hear you lyrically riff on that and musically do something super, super cool with that song. And then that mystery song that you did at the very end is, I think it's just a masterpiece, man. It's like
thank you.
6, 7, 8 completely different movements. I mean, it moves like Bohemian Rhapsody, just
wow,
dramatically, jarringly different stuff. And it works and really says something. And then you get to the very end of that song. And I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, Jeff, you just need to stop now. You said the thing, and it was great. You said a thing about the role of mystery and journey in life, in the process of what's intoned is faith and the big questions. And you said it, and you musically, you got it right to the place where you need to land the plane. And I remember saying out loud, just land the plane, Jeff. Just don't bring it back in. Just land the plane. And you did. And the whole album just wraps up on that thoughtful, sensitive note. I'm like, yeah, nice job, dude. That is aces. Great stuff. So nice job, man. Congrats on really genuinely a super, super cool album. I've enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, thanks.
The music that you wrote, and I think everybody knows this, but I'll just say it again. All the music on the front end of this whole Matthew series, that's all from your last album, just little tidbits that we snagged and grabbed onto. So people can go and hear the full songs that flow out of that as well on your previous album, which is called
Sea of Tranquility. That's under my name, Jeff Foote, on all the places people listen to music.
You set such a tone for how I want this to be. I do not want to do the podcast where, well, I went to college for this actually, and I read several books, and I have the power of editing and Googling, and so I can just appear to be completely omniscient about all the things involving the Bible off the top of my head, when the truth is I'm just not. I don't want this to feel like a descend from the mountaintop thing, because it isn't. We're doing the work together. It means that if you're on a journey, you got to be a little bit lighthearted. You can't take yourself too seriously. And your music just frames and bookends these conversations so nicely. It sets the tone in such a good way. And the idea that somehow our little conversations that we have here on the daily podcast somehow informed your much grander artistic achievement on this album, that's kind of fun for you to let us think that. So thank you. That is kind of you.
It is always fun.
Hey, if you're still listening, thank you for indulging us this. It was fun to chat about it, and Jeff is just such a faithful, smart, competent, silent partner on this thing so often. I thought it'd just be fun here to get him on and have him be not so silent a partner on this conversation today. So, Jeffrey, thank you for everything you do. Thanks for chatting it up with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to wrap up with one of the songs from Jeff's album, and I want it to be the one that I helped you with the most.
Okay.
That'll be fun. It's like I got a teeny tiny little bit part in helping you make this thing go.
Do you want to do like a Casey Kasem dedication or something?
Here's Jeff Foote's band Rooktown with his hit Premonition from his recent album, The Clamor and the Crash. This special dedication goes out to, I don't know who it goes out to. I didn't think that far ahead. Just play the song.
I've been down this road before. I know what's behind that door. No one can say. No one can say what it is to me. Oh, oh. There's a sign. The sign says no soliciting. Tomorrow's always a mystery. What will you find in the night? Watching the flames taking flight. What will it mean then in the end? To rise above a premonition. I see your signs, red in the sky. Gotta do what's right for me and mine. Not everything is heaven sent. A broken clock. For every broken clock and lucky guess, there's 1,000 disappointments. What will you find in the night? Watching the flames taking flight. What would it mean then in the end? To rise above a premonition. play.